Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into The Optimistic Child by Martin E.P. Seligman. This insightful book, grounded in Seligman's groundbreaking research, unveils the profound impact of optimism on a child's development. It serves as a practical guide for parents and educators, offering strategies to foster an optimistic mindset in children. By equipping the younger generation with a positive outlook, Seligman argues, we can enable them to navigate life's challenges with resilience and a healthier mental state. Martin E.P. Seligman, a pioneering psychologist and the Zellerbach Family Professor of Psychology at the University of Pennsylvania, brings his extensive expertise to this work. As a former president of the American Psychological Association and a leading figure in positive psychology, Seligman's insights are both authoritative and accessible. The Optimistic Child is an essential read for educators seeking innovative approaches to student well-being, parents aiming to provide their children with the tools for a happier life, and anyone looking to overcome personal battles with depression and anxiety. Join us as we explore how this influential book can change the way you think about raising and educating children, laying the foundation for a lifetime of optimism and emotional resilience. The Optimistic Child, a proven program to safeguard children against depression and build lifelong resilience. Introduction. Unlock the gateway to a brighter future. Teach your child the art of optimism. In a world filled with challenges and uncertainties, instilling a sense of optimism in our children is more crucial than ever. But how exactly can we transform their outlook on life from one that might be clouded by pessimism to one that radiates with the sunshine of optimism? This exploration delves into the profound influence of optimism on a child's happiness, resilience, and overall success in life. It sheds light on the often misconceived notions about self-esteem and offers a treasure trove of psychological insights alongside practical guidance for nurturing an optimistic spirit within your child. You're about to embark on a journey that not only highlights the pitfalls of pessimistic thinking, but also illuminates the path to fostering an enduring sense of hope and confidence in your child. Through this narrative, you will learn why the popular beliefs surrounding self-esteem may not hold up under scrutiny. Discover strategies for reshaping your child's mindset towards positivity, and understand how empowering them to tackle their own challenges can lay the groundwork for a future filled with possibilities. By embracing the teachings outlined here, you prepare your child to navigate life's storms with grace and emerge stronger with each passing day. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to raising an optimistic child, ready to face the world with a smile and an unshakable belief in their own potential. Part 1. Turning Shadows into Sunshine. How Optimists Find Light in the Darkest Moments. Imagine two individuals standing before a half-filled glass of water. Where one sees dwindling reserves, the other sees boundless possibility. This imagery extends far beyond a simple beverage. It encapsulates a profound life philosophy that distinguishes optimists from pessimists. The stance one takes on this spectrum doesn't just color their immediate reaction to setbacks, but significantly influences their mental health and overall life trajectory. Picture a scenario where something goes awry. A failed exam, for instance. The pessimist might drown in self-doubt, lamenting, "I'm just not cut out for success. I failed because I lack the intellect." Meanwhile, the optimist adopts a markedly different stance, viewing the setback as a temporary hitch, saying, "It was my preparation, not my potential that fell short. I'll approach it differently next time and fare better." This underscores a pivotal revelation. Optimists approach misfortune with more constructive interpretations. Pessimism has a way of ensnaring individuals in the trap of catastrophic thinking, where every setback looms as a harbinger of endless misfortune. This bleak outlook can pervade one's entire existence, sapping hope and nurturing a sense of inertia known as learned helplessness. Within this desolate mindset, the future appears as an immutable void of despair, fostering symptoms akin to depression, diminished spirits, a lack of enthusiasm, and a pervasive sense of futility. Research spearheaded by Martin Seligman and his colleagues unearthed that this very sense of helplessness forms the bedrock of depression. Children ensnared by pessimism often find themselves lagging behind, plagued by underachievement, and susceptible to mental health struggles later in life. Contrarily, optimists exhibit a tenacious spirit, persisting in the face of adversity, thus significantly lowering their predisposition to depression. The crux of the matter lies in learned helplessness, the conviction that one's actions are futile. Yet, as Seligman discovered, this mindset isn't an irreversible sentence. Through the application of specific cognitive tools, one can unshackle themselves from the chains of pessimism, thereby inoculating against the malaise of despondency and underachievement. The journey from pessimism to optimism is akin to a process of immunization, safeguarding not just against fleeting moments of disappointment, but fortifying one's spirit against the insidious creep of depression. In the pages that follow, we'll explore the cognitive techniques that hold the key to cultivating a resilient sense of optimism, offering a beacon of hope for a future lit with endless possibilities. Part 2. The Paradox of Self-Esteem. Why more praise isn't always the answer. In our quest to nurture happy, optimistic children, the modern world has gravitated towards a seemingly foolproof formula: boosting self-esteem. The reasoning is straightforward. If children feel good about themselves, they're bound to be optimistic and less prone to depression. This belief has propelled parents and educators to shower kids with affirmations, celebrate every attempt regardless of outcome, and elevate the mantra of self-love above all. Yet, despite these well-intentioned efforts, we find ourselves facing an unsettling truth. Our children are experiencing depression at unprecedented rates. Here lies the crux of a troubling dilemma. Our children have never been more depressed. The swell of depression isn't a recent tide. Since the 1950s, its reach has been widening, ensnaring younger victims with each passing decade. A study from 1993 delivered a stark statistic. Nearly one-third of American 13-year-olds displayed symptoms of depression. So, if the elixir of self-esteem has been administered so liberally, why hasn't it cured our children's blues? The answer, it seems, lies in a critical misunderstanding of self-esteem itself. The current narrative equates self-esteem with how children feel about themselves, a perspective that misses the mark. Feelings contribute to self-esteem, yes, but they are not its foundation. True self-worth blooms through actions, overcoming challenges, solving problems, mastering skills, and persisting through adversity. It's the triumphs, not merely the attempts, that forge a resilient sense of self. By aiming to directly manipulate how children feel about themselves, with applause at every turn and affirmations that skirt the realities of failure, society has veered off course. This shift from valuing achievement to prioritizing feeling good, from being an accomplishing society to becoming a feel-good society, has seeded an environment ripe for disappointment. The slogans of self-love, devoid of the weight of real achievements, have left our youth adrift in a sea of unmet expectations. The paradox is clear. More praise is not the panacea for depression, nor the cornerstone of optimism. The journey towards fostering genuine self-esteem and lasting optimism doesn't pave its path with constant reassurance of specialness or unfounded happiness. It demands a recalibration of our understanding of self-esteem and a return to recognizing the intrinsic value of effort and accomplishment. As we venture beyond this realization, we will uncover the true mechanisms of optimism and how it can be effectively cultivated in our children. The mission ahead is not to teach our kids to always feel special or incessantly happy. but to equip them with the resilience and skills necessary to navigate life's inevitable challenges. Part 3. Deciphering the language of optimism. Why words matter for your child's outlook. Optimism, often encapsulated by images of sunlit skies and affirmations of perpetual positivity, harbors a deeper essence that transcends these superficial symbols. At its core, optimism is shaped not by the whims of wishful thinking, but by the interpretive lens through which events, whether adverse or fortunate, are perceived. This interpretive lens, known as an explanatory style, serves as the cognitive fabric weaving the narrative of our experiences. A critical discovery arises in understanding how children forge their views on the permanence and pervasiveness of life's challenges. Pessimistic children, it turns out, encode an unsettling belief, the notion that the forces behind misfortune are both enduring and ubiquitous. Herein lies a profound insight. Pessimistic children see the causes behind negative events as both permanent and pervasive. Consider a child navigating the stormy seas of adolescence, met with a reprimand. A pessimist might lament, "My mom is just mean," ascribing her discomfort to an immutable trait of her mother. Contrast this with the optimist's perspective, who might consider, "My mom's just having a bad day," recognizing the situation as transient and therefore less daunting. The vocabulary children employ offers a window into their inherent optimism or pessimism. Words like always or never signal a belief in the static nature of their predicaments, indicative of a pessimistic outlook. Conversely, terms such as recently or sometimes hint at an optimistic stance, recognizing the ephemerality of setbacks. Pervasiveness, another dimension of one's explanatory style, further differentiates the optimistic child from the pessimistic. The latter is prone to sweeping generalizations, allowing a single setback to tarnish their self-image across unrelated domains. A pessimistic child might extend the disappointment of a lost competition to an overarching sense of incompetence, believing they suck at everything. On the flip side, an optimist relates their struggle to a specific context, preserving their overall sense of competence and self-worth. The implications of these distinctions extend far beyond the immediate aftermath of setbacks. While the pessimist, engulfed in a self-spun narrative of generalized failure, may retreat into isolation, the optimist, buoyed by a belief in their ability to navigate and compartmentalize challenges, moves forward with hope and resilience. Understanding and cultivating an optimistic explanatory style in children is not about shielding them from life's adversities, but equipping them with the cognitive tools to interpret and respond to these challenges in ways that foster resilience, happiness, and a deeply rooted sense of optimism. By paying keen attention to our children's words and guiding them towards recognizing the transitory and specific nature of setbacks, we pave the way for a future where they view not just the glass, but life itself as perpetually refillable. Part 4. Finding the Balance. How optimistic children navigate the world of self-blame. The aftermath of a mistake or a mishap often leads to a crucial crossroads, the assignment of blame. For many children, particularly those inclined towards self-criticism, the finger points inward by default. This propensity to self-blame, especially when it becomes a pattern, tugs at the threads of one's self-esteem, fostering feelings of guilt, shame, and eventually steering them towards the shadows of depression. However, there lies a golden mean, a balanced approach to self-blame, characteristic of optimistic children who manage to navigate the treacherous waters of guilt and accountability with grace. Here's the pivotal insight. Optimistic children approach self-blame in a manner that's not only healthy, but constructive. The task isn't to instill an external locus of control, absolving oneself of all responsibility by casting blame onto others or the circumstances. That's neither healthy nor honest. We all falter, make poor choices, or inadvertently cause harm. Acknowledgement of one's role in these moments is crucial, yet it's the manner of this acknowledgement that distinguishes the optimistic child. Optimistic children practice what's known as accurate responsibility. They recognize their involvement in the negative outcomes, but they refrain from letting this acknowledgement morph into an overpowering sense of guilt. They strike a delicate balance, accepting fault without letting it define them. Consider the tale of two friends, Andrea and Lucy. Andrea's decision to end her friendship with Lucy causes hurt. An optimistic child like Andrea reflects on her actions, recognizes the pain they've caused, but she doesn't let this incident eclipse her entire perception of herself. She doesn't spiral into a narrative of being a bad friend or a bad person, but views the situation as an isolated lapse in judgment. This is complemented by the concept of behavioral self-blame, a form of accountability that's both temporary and specific. It's the understanding that actions have consequences, as illustrated when a child, grounded for misbehavior, connects the punishment directly to the specific action rather than internalizing it as evidence of their inherent badness. Pessimistic children, on the other hand, might generalize this punishment, cultivating a narrative of being fundamentally flawed, thus entrenching themselves further into self-condemnation and guilt. Fostering a balanced perspective on self-blame involves critiquing actions, not character. As parents and caregivers, emphasizing that a wrongdoing is a moment of poor judgment, rather than a reflection of the child's core identity, can nurture an optimistic, resilient outlook. By focusing on specific behaviors instead of labeling character, we guide children towards a healthier relationship with self-blame, one where accountability becomes a stepping stone to personal growth rather than a pitfall into self-disparagement. Part 5. A Blueprint for Optimism. How modeling the right behavior can transform mindsets. Ever considered that the secret to fostering an optimistic outlook lies not just in what we teach, but in how we embody those lessons ourselves? Imagine imparting not only words of encouragement, but also demonstrating through our actions the resilience and positivity we wish to see in our children. This approach, which combines direct instruction with behavioral modeling, could be the key to unlocking a more optimistic future for both you and your child. Embrace this empowering thought. Modeling can be your pathway to nurturing an optimistic mindset in your family. Embarking on this journey requires a toolkit equipped with 4 essential cognitive skills, each serving as a stepping stone towards a more optimistic way of thinking. Once mastered, these skills become lessons you can live by and teach to your children, offering them a lifeline in times of adversity. The initial skill, thought-catching, involves being attentive to the negative thoughts that invade our minds during moments of distress. Take Lydia, a mother wrestling with morning chaos, who often finds herself snapping at her children. By adopting thought-catching, Lydia begins to observe the critical inner voice that labels her a terrible mother right after these outbursts. The next step, evaluation, encourages Lydia to scrutinize these negative thoughts, weighing them against reality. She drafts 2 lists, one outlining reasons she might believe she's a bad mother, and another celebrating her successes in motherhood. This reflective exercise unveils a truth that's far kinder to Lydia's self-image, challenging the foundation of her self-criticism. With these insights, Lydia proceeds to dispute her negative thoughts, crafting more rational explanations for her morning frustrations that don't cast her entire identity as a mother into doubt. This practice of cognitive restructuring helps Lydia break free from the visceral response of self-condemnation. Lastly, Lydia, like many of us, has a tendency towards catastrophizing when faced with setbacks. By learning decatastrophizing, Lydia shifts her focus towards the most plausible outcomes rather than the most catastrophic. When a disagreement threatens her friendship, Lydia initially fears the worst. Yet, through rational evaluation, she recognizes the improbability of these dire forecasts, alleviating unnecessary angst. This comprehensive approach serves as a potent reminder of optimism's attainability. As parents, our behaviors and reactions can either anchor us in pessimism or propel us towards optimism. By practicing these cognitive skills openly, we not only refine our resilience, but also become living examples of optimism for our children to emulate. In modeling this mindset, we offer them a template for turning challenges into stepping stones, cultivating an optimistic perspective that can weather life's storms. Part 6: Strengthening Resilience, a guide to empowering your child with problem-solving skills. In the endeavor to cultivate an optimistic outlook within your child, teaching them to counter pessimistic thoughts is undoubtedly a step in the right direction. Yet, the tapestry of childhood is woven with numerous threads of challenges, rendering mere optimism insufficient for navigating the complexities of growing up. Critical among these is the ability to tackle problems head-on, a skill especially pivotal when it comes to the intricate realm of social interactions. Embrace this empowering insight. You can arm your child with a robust framework for problem-solving. The journey toward honed problem-solving abilities commences with instilling a sense of deliberation. Impulsive reactions, although natural, often pave the way to regrettable outcomes. By imparting the virtue of pause, encouraging your child to contemplate quietly for a spell before acting, you set the stage for more thoughtful and composed responses. Imagine a bustling cafeteria scenario where an accidental nudge results in a spilled lunch. Teaching your child to resist the knee-jerk impulse to retaliate is the first step toward measured decision-making. Once the art of pause is mastered, the next step, perspective-taking, comes into play. It involves teaching your child to consider the motives and thoughts driving others' actions. Examining facial expressions and body language can offer valuable insights into whether an act was born out of malice or mere accident. This skill not only aids in diffusing potential conflicts, but also nurtures empathy, allowing children to better understand and connect with their peers. The final piece of the problem-solving puzzle is goal setting, a process ideally undertaken in moments of calm, away from the immediate pressures of conflict. This stage is about defining objectives and brainstorming potential pathways to their achievement. For instance, should a rift form with a friend, goal setting encourages your child to specify reconciliation as her aim and enumerate actionable steps toward mending the relationship. Optimism, while not a panacea for all of life's adversities, equips children with the resilience required to face challenges head-on. By fostering the skills of pause, perspective-taking, and goal-setting, you empower your child to navigate social complexities with grace, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. It's this blend of optimism and problem-solving prowess that paves the way for a future marked by resilience, hope, and an unwavering belief in one's ability to overcome. Final summary. At the heart of these insights lies a powerful truth. Optimism transcends mere positive thinking or the echo of uplifting mottos. It's a proactive stance towards life, characterized by a willingness to take accurate responsibility for one's actions and persist through adversity with grace. As guardians of the next generation, there's a profound opportunity and obligation to guide our children towards adopting this resilient mindset. Optimism, in its essence, is about recognizing the transient nature of challenges and understanding that difficulties do not define our entire being or foreshadow a grim future. This perspective encourages individuals, especially young ones, to view setbacks not as insurmountable obstacles, but as temporary hurdles that can be overcome with effort and determination. By nurturing an environment that emphasizes the specificity and temporariness of problems, parents and educators can play a pivotal role in cultivating an optimistic disposition in children. This involves imparting the wisdom that failures or setbacks are not pervasive reflections on their character, but rather isolated incidents from which valuable lessons can be drawn. In summary, fostering optimism is about equipping children with the tools to navigate the complexities of life with hope, resilience, and a deep-seated belief in their capacity to effect change in their circumstances. It's about instilling in them the courage to face each day with a conviction that challenges are but stepping stones to personal growth and achievement. Through encouragement, modeling, and guided reflection, we can help shape a future generation not only capable of dreaming of a brighter tomorrow, but also empowered to make it a reality. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.